Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So Nicole has made that transition from a subtropical system into a tropical system. And when we were showing you this satellite imagery yesterday, there was a huge amount of convection over well to the east of the center, but right near the center, there really wasn't much going on. So as you look at it today, you can see there's that big burst of convection right near the center. So that's that real indication that we're starting to see this becoming much more of that tropical system. We're seeing the sustained convection near the center. We're seeing those winds and everything starting to consolidate more towards the center of this storm. Now, it still somewhat has some of those non-tropical characteristics. You're still seeing a lot of this convection detached from the center, and we're seeing this is a very large storm as far as the wind field. Nearly 400 miles extending out from the center are those tropical storm force winds, but overall is now classified as a tropical storm. Here's that closer in view, visible satellite imagery of the center right here. You can see the big burst of convection. You can see all the lightning near the center. Now, we've seen this on a couple of storms this year, and that lightning, that's an indication of strengthening, of an intense core with this. And so we are seeing that it is getting better organized, and it will continue that strengthening process really as we go through the next couple of days, as it's working its way over some warm waters, especially as it gets over into this region just to the north of the Bahamas. You have that Gulf Stream, so we've got some very warm water. We have low wind shear, so conditions are in place that we're going to see more strengthening with this. But right now, top winds are at 50 miles an hour, 27.8, 72.7. It is currently moving to the west at 9 miles an hour. So it's expected to go a little bit further to the south. And one of the things we'll probably start to notice with this storm is it could start to wobble back and forth as it is working its way towards the coastline. The models have really been indicating that this system is somewhat lopsided, and a lot of the time when we have these lopsided systems, they tend to wobble. But really, an important thing to note as we watch this landfall with this is, again, we talk about this all the time, not to focus in on that center line, because the wind field is so large with this. Really about the only thing that makes a difference as far as where this comes ashore is just where that storm surge is. That will be on that right-hand side. Other than that, really a good portion of the state is going to be dealing with those tropical storm force winds, at least right along the coastline over on the eastern side of the state. They will see those hurricane force winds potentially if this does in fact strengthen into a hurricane, because right now we're looking at either a strong tropical storm or a minimal hurricane. But here across central Florida and over on the western side of the state, we're looking at those tropical storm force wind gusts and the heavy rain. So overall, on our side of the state especially, this is not a huge issue. This is a manageable situation where we're just talking about some pretty windy weather. We're talking about quite a bit of rain with this, some downed trees, and some isolated power outages. That should be about the extent of this as we go through the next couple of days. But we do have a tropical storm watch that is for the entire viewing area. And as you go just to the east, that's where you're seeing that tropical storm warning. As we go through time, these warnings will be upgraded, and we will eventually be under that tropical storm warning here through central Florida and on the western side of the state. So as we look at our major computer models, the European, the GFS, and our own exclusive Fox model, we're seeing pretty good agreement among the models. You do see that wobble as it works its way towards the Bahamas and then making landfall either very late on Wednesday night or into early Thursday morning. So good consensus among these various computer models. But then as you look at the models as a whole, you know, we talk about the spaghetti models, you're still seeing a considerable spread in all the various computer models. So there's still room to fine tune this forecast. And the trend has been for this to shift a little bit further to the north. But again, remember, you don't focus in on that center point. What we do look at is where it comes on shore to the right of that. That's where we're going to see that storm surge over on the east coast. But we're not talking about a storm surge for us. We're talking about wind and we're talking about rainfall. And really, most of the state is going to be experiencing that across central Florida, a little bit to the south, and also up into North Florida. They will see the wind really all through these areas, and then the heavy rainfall. Now, as you head further to the north, we'll probably see more of that heavy rain. But you look at the winds and the wind gusts. So as we go through Wednesday, here are those stronger winds starting to build in. 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust expected as we head into tomorrow night. Could see some of that right along the coastline as well. And then as we go through Thursday, you continue to see throughout most of the day on Thursday some winds gusting 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. But already by late on Thursday, notice down to our south, down towards Sarasota, down towards Venice, you're already seeing improving conditions with those winds starting to die down as we continue to see some of those stronger winds across the northern part of the state, and then conditions improving very quickly as we go through the day on Friday. As far as rainfall, most areas 2 to 3 inches of rain. As you head to our east and also to our north, we are going to see some pockets of some heavier rain over towards Orlando. And then as you head up towards Brooksville, Dade City, could see some areas of some heavier amounts. But really, that is very dependent on that track and the way the bands roll through. Again, the way this will end up working out, it will not be sustained winds of that 30 to 40. As those rain bands work their way through, that's where you see the winds gusting. Some of these bands will work their way through. You'll have that very heavy rain for 15, 20, 30 minutes. And then after that band works its way through, things will settle down and you'll get those little lulls. But it's going to take some time as we go through the day on Thursday before everything really improves, and then some nice looking weather as we head towards the weekend. Of course, we're going to keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.